Go Todd.
Todd and then Frank.
Product of the Minnesota Miracle in the 70s. And Duluth has certainly been the beneficiary because it's the largest source of income that goes into our general fund. But we also realize that it's been a very easy target to take down. Looking at more what you see in terms of what the long-term vision is with local government aid, especially with the higher density of population that's in the Twin Cities. Is this something that we need to be thinking about more long-term as well as short-term? What do you see in terms of what's going to happen with the local government aid system in the next 5, 10 years?
When I was sitting on the Duluth City Council, we started the 3 major cities, counties, and school districts were getting together to talk about local government aid because everybody saw it as a target, and they realized that while it was a very complicated formula, it felt like some communities benefited more than others. It's also a factor that many communities have more property wealth than other communities, and so they have a far advantage too in being able to fund their projects and their communities a lot better. But I think that you remember what the name of that group is, the tax group? They're still meeting.
Yeah.
And they're still trying to come up with a replacement that would provide more stable funding to the communities than this local government aid that becomes a target during every budget session.
I mean, I think in answer to your question, Todd, that LGA is a broken system. I mean, it's 30 years plus out now. You know, and what I saw in my one little year was, you know, the suburbs don't receive LGA, and they're becoming the new power base. And then after this next census, we should have, in all likelihood, a majority of both the House and the Senate representing the 7 or at least the 11 county metro area. And many of them aren't recipients of LGA, so they don't understand what benefit it does. And it brings me back to this point of, you know, when LGA was put in place, there was a buy-in from the state that, you know, whether you lived in Roseau or Edina or Duluth or Worthington, there were some basic level quality of life things you ought to be able to have and be able to expect from your local government, be that city or county. And LGA was a way for the state to bring in from, you know, places that did better on property tax and get back out to places that didn't do as well. And I don't think that buy-in's there anymore. It's not there anymore, especially from the suburban areas of the metropolitan area. They don't see that them contributing so that Roseau or Duluth or Worthington can do better is of any benefit to them. So until we have that conversation again and then decide that that's something we want to do and come up with, I think, a different system for doing it, LGA is looked at as an entitlement for Duluth and other areas, and it's been a target and will continue to be.
But you have to, I'm not sure what the numbers are now, but 6, 7 years ago, Duluth was the 4th largest city and in the state population, but we were 17th in terms of our property tax base. So how are you going to provide the same level of police and fire unless you get some help from the state to even out the fact that some cities have huge property tax bases and others have very small ones, and that's what that was designed to do. And you mentioned the Minnesota Miracle. That was designed to take K-12 off of the property taxes and put it on income tax. I mean, that's a fair way. Duluth is a city that has an aging housing structure, and there's not much we can do about that. So I think we do need to have some sort of government aid for cities like Duluth, and there's lots of them around the state that just don't have the property tax basis to provide the services we need. And every city in the state, half of their budget is police and fire. If you're going to cut things, it's going to have to be some police and fire.
I'm not advocating an extension of local government aid. It's not fair. It's not working. and we have to look at a different system, but not this next legislative session.